All right, children, good day. It is I, Kay Lane. Let's get some things out of the way first. First of all, let me adjust this. I feel like I'm all off to the side or something. Let's get some, girl, it is hot down boots. Hold on, let me catch a little breeze. I know I can't do the whole video with the windows down because, girl, sounds and colors. But, girl, so yesterday when I woke up when I looked out the window, because I had been up about 6:15 in the morning, there was snow. There was snow on the ground. Today, it's burning up. I don't have the time, nor have I the energy, but whatever though. All right, I caught a little piece of a breeze. Now let's get some things out the way. My name is Kayla. For the new subscribers, how do you do? This is Versace, if you pronounce it correctly, Versace. And before I get into my review, I want to let you all know I am so glad you're here. I also want to let you all know that you can find me on these streets. I'm going to try to remember to put my information down in the box. Also, I recently found a new YouTuber. Hold on. Let me make sure I get her name right. I have it in my head, but I want to make sure I'm saying it the way it's in my head is the way it actually is. Okay. Gianni Versace. I'm going to link her down below. She's a new YouTuber, and she also does this show, and she does a bunch of other shows. She's actually going back and doing some older shows, which I wanted to do, but I was like, is anybody even going to watch this? The show been out for forever and, a day. Am I going to, who cares, right? But I'm watching her older reviews, so it may inspire me to go ahead and do my own. So, but check her out. She has a really good channel, and she's actually, she goes in depth in ways that I don't. So if you want, more tea than what I'm giving you, go over to her channel, and make sure you go over to my brother Kenneth Stallings, because he also does really good, in-depth reviews of the show. And you already know James Caldwell, Kelly Love does really good reviews. I'm just gonna get out in the street, honey, because listen, I can't be sitting here all day. But Kelly Love, he does his reviews, and it's a bunch of other people that do. But just check everybody out. Now on to this. Okay, before I even get into this, because I know I'm finna get all in my feelings. This show was about his first two murders. About 98% of this is speculation. About 98, and girl, speculation is my new trigger word. I'll talk about that at another time, but somebody, we cool now, but they had tried me. But anyway, the majority of this episode was speculation. The only things that we know for sure are the actual murders and where the people were shot and bludgeoned and that kind of thing. But everything else, and I'm not sure how much of the cops situation is real, but as far as David, Jeff, and Andrew, as far as those three girls, we don't know what actually happened with them. So this whole show, this whole episode was just a reimagination, I should say, of what may have happened. I had to say that for your sake and for my sake, because I know I'm about to get mad, and I'm going to be cussing out Andrew, and I'm going to be cussing out David, but I have to remember that I'm not cussing out the real Andrew and the real David. I'm cussing out the reimagined Andrew and the reimagined David. So, we start off with, at the house, basically, and apparently Andrew and David had prior had an argument. Again, I'm not sure if this is actual and factual or if this is reimagined, but on the show they had an argument. They said some things, and now what's his name, David, is well, let's just be friends, and Andrew half is cool with it, lying, but he looked all right, cool, whatever ish. But what I don't understand is that y'all kind of live together. Is that what I gathered? Is that what I received from this? They was living together-ish, but now they just friends, and that's just okay. I don't know. But anyway, so David, he's architecting and things. I used to want to be an architect until I realized it wasn't just drawing. You had to actually build, solicit people to build your vision, and I don't work like that. I can draw the picture. Let me draw this building for you, girl. But then making sure that, first of all, things are to scale. Scale is not my area. Second of all, making sure that the people who build it not right. I just am not good at that kind of thing. So architecture is not for me. I used to also want to be an archaeologist, and then I realized, girl, there's not enough sunscreen in the world for me to be out in Egypt digging up bones. There's just not I burn so easily. I'm probably going to have sunburn on this arm right now because the sun is killing me, even with the shirt on. But moving on, this is not about me. Rambling reviews. Rambling. But over to David and Andrew. So he's architecting whatever he's working, and then there's a buzz. Now he's like, now who could this, who the F is this calling me at 5:47 in the night while I'm watching the fight? Not the Biggie version, the Nicki version. And Andrew was like, well, I invited Jeff to come over, whatever. He's like, girl, I don't have time. I'm working. And Andrew said, this won't take long. And the way he said it made me be like, oh, no. Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. Like, the way he said it won't take long, I'd be like, It sounded like it won't be long. Like going to heaven. No daughter. But everybody can't read things like I can. Everybody ain't able. So all in all, child, Andrew was like, so is you gonna let him up? And I'm like, Andrew, why you don't go let him up? Because, girl, you invited him to David's house. You go downstairs and get him. Because apparently the buzzer won't just let you in. You got to buzz, and somebody got to go downstairs and get you. And I'm like, why they don't have a concierge? Why they don't have a little nigga at the front to be like, hey, come on in. What's up? How you doing? Don't kill nobody. Why? Where's the valet or somebody? Like, I mean, I understand it's probably not that ritzy and carrying on. Now, you could have put a turn signal on. I know you on a bike, but there are hand signals that you could have made. Ma'am. Anyway, but anyway, so Andrew's like, we're going on down and get him so y'all can talk about me. Uh-oh, drop my phone. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? What in the world? And David is like, talk about you. Girl, the hell? And Andrew's like, yeah, just go on down there and get them so y'all can talk about me. I'm like, can y'all not all three talk about you? I talk about myself with my friends all the time. I be like, girl, she is ridiculous and she's raggedy and I'm she. But whatever though. So David goes on downstairs. He goes to get Jeff. And just like Andrew had done said, here they go talking about him. Well, he asked to propose to me and said I'm the man of his dreams. And Jeff talking about how you get out of that. Jeffrey, it's 1997. Y'all can't get married. That's how he got it. What are you talking about? What are you asking him? How you get out of that? Because he can't marry him. What kind of question? Again, this is reimagined. But girl, it got on my nerves. How did you get out of that? If Gianni Versace could not get married, then surely David and Andrew could not get married. Girl, how did you get out of that? Ma'am, niece, was not legal. That's how. It got on my nerves. But, so long story, even longer, honey, come to find out that Jeff and David was sleeping together or something, and they in love. And I'm like, you living with... It was on my nerves. Again, reimagine. So I don't know if... I'm not sure, if this is true or not, but it was on my nerves. So they get back upstairs, honey. Soon as they walk in the building... Now, David had tied up the dog. And, Andrew had tied up the dog. And David was giving, why you got my dog tied up? And then he went downstairs, come back upstairs. The dog back tied up. And he like, why you got my dog tied up? Like, what is this? As soon as I get home, as soon as Jeff stepped in the door and got the door closed real good, Andrew came smooth out of just, I don't know, and beat this man to death. He say, hey, how you doing? He say, can I get you something to drink? How was your elevator ride up? Is it cool outside? What's the weather looking like? How about those Knicks? Like, he didn't say nothing but grunts and groans as he murdered this man. And I'm just like, girl, you could have said, hey. You could have said, hey. You could have been like, hey, girl, so since you here, I'm going to go and kill you, but how are things? How's your mama? She good? I heard she had gout. She soaking that foot? All right, good. Now let me kill you. Like, just to beat him and murder, just all of a sudden, he didn't have any time to register that I will be murdered. How rude. Anyway, murdered him. Got him smooth on out the way. Now, David is over here in shock, just shook down boots. Andrew's like, hey, we cool? It's cool. Like, he dead and everything, but we fine. We right here. Let's go hop in the shower, get this blood off of us, honey, and start our day over, because this was already a mess. Like, I had to kill him. This has been crazy and a mess, girl. Let's start over. So, Andrew takes David into the shower with their jeans on. I'm like, one thing I just hate is a wet jean on my body. I hate it so much. I hate when I'm running late for work and I forgot to put my clothes in the dryer and I got to hurry up and try to dry my jeans, but there's still a little damp spot. I hate when I was younger and my cousin pushed me in the pool. I had on jeans, now my jeans wet and heavy. Like, I hated it all so much. So much. But here we are in the shower with these jeans on, and I'm just like, oh, flashbacks and memories. I can't. He done rinsed and soaped and carrying on, and I'm like, how clean could you really get with these jeans? I'm worried about these jeans. Now here we are. David wants to call the police. Andrew's like, okay, girl, I'll call them if you want me to. Ain't no thing. He goes somewhere off, so I don't know where. They were separated for a minute. He comes back, and it's like, so girl, did you call the police or what? And Andrew's like, I was going to call the police. I was just about to call him. I had the phone in my hand and everything. I had pressed the 9 and the first one. But then I realized, if I called him, you gonna go to jail. And I don't want you to go to jail. Like, I'm fine going to jail, honey. This is not a thing for me. But you, though, I don't want you to go to jail. And I'm like, Andrew, girl, rude. So rude. And, David is like, well, I didn't do anything. Andrew is giving. And the whole tone of this entire show, this Versace killings show, like this season, is homophobia and like how it makes people the way they are, I guess. That's like the whole underlying situation here. So Andrew is giving, yeah, you didn't kill him or whatever, sure, but we're gay, girl. We are gay. So like, they gonna think you did it anyway because they hate us because we gay. Like, I'm sorry. Like, there's nothing I can do. It's just the fact of the matter is you are a homosexual and I am a homosexual, and they just think we're criminals anyway. So if I call the police, like, I'm gonna get 30 years, but you're gonna get 10 years. And I can't imagine you getting 10 years. Like, it does something to me on the inside. Like, I can't take it. And then he pulls out his gun and he waving the gun around. I'm like, girl, I would have at this point, but because I'm saying this because I already know that David got to die. I would have just gone, kill me with Jeff. Kill me with Jeff. Go on, kill me right now. We don't have to do all this foolishness. Go on, kill me. But, that's my thoughts. So, let me see. What else? Oh, I forgot to mention that the gun he has is Jeff's gun, which is why Jeff came over. Jeff was like, girl, I got to come over here. I ain't even really want to be bothered with Andrew. I'm sick of him. But he got my gun. Let me come over here and get this gun. I'm like, if somebody crazy enough to steal my gun, they can have it. You can have it. Don't worry about it. Don't give it back. No, keep it. I'll give me another one. Ain't no thing. I'm going to report you. But hold on to it. I'm not going to look you eye to eye in your face, but keep the gun. I can't do it. So anyway, girl, I guess it's the next morning. We done let this body. What does not make sense to me is the fact that he bludgeoned this man. Blood don't not have a smell. Blood has a very distinct blood smell. There's a smell that goes with blood that smells like blood. So you done bludgeoned this man and he bloody down boots. And y'all left him just at the front door. The smell ain't coming out from under the crack of the door. Ain't no blood seeping through under the door. Like, I know that this is based on real life, but that just don't make sense that he'd have bludgeoned this man at the front door to the point where this big pool of blood and ain't no blood seeped out through the door. Like, so anyway, girl, it's the next day, next morning, it's morning. No Kelly Price at the gospel explosion. Y'all remember when Kelly Price was scheduled to sing at the gospel function and she got up there singing As We Lay? It turned out that she was like the segue between the gospel and the secular, but they thought it was still the gospel, and they thought they had booked Kelly for the gospel, and she thought she had got booked for the secular, so here she come. That tickled me. Anyway, back to this. So it's morning, and this boy had been just laying here dead all night, and I'm just like, first of all, unsanitary. You done went in here, took the shower. You could have been in here scraping up this man's body before you took the shower. But whatever. David shook. Andrew tells him, turn away, and tries to roll him up, and actually physically rolls him up in a rug. Now, what I did not understand was on the show, well, first of all, he had David. Now, y'all too close to the curb, baby, because I get stuff on that curb from time to time. These folks out in the street talking about Make-A-Wish Foundation, like, yes, Yes, I love and support the Make-A-Wish Foundation. My little cousin, she's a member of the foundation. I don't know how you a member, but she has had illnesses and she's been a part of the Make-A-Wish. So I'm happy that y'all out here with these buckets and things, but get out the street. How you doing? Good to see you. All right, it's uncomfortable having all these folks staring at me and standing on the road and things. But he has David help him move the rug. So I'm like, girl, now you an accomplice for real. If you wasn't an accomplice before, you really an accomplice now because you done scooted this rug out the way. So what doesn't make sense to me is, if I'm remembering correctly, the way they murdered, or not they, well, I don't know if it's they or not, to be honest. I know Andrew killed up a bunch of folks, but I don't know if David was involved at first and then chickened out or what. We don't know that. We don't know. But the way Jeff's body was hidden it was hidden in a closet, very much like Dorian Corey from Paris is Burning when she killed her victim. But this man, they just put him behind a footstool or a little side table or something. And I'm like, well, that's not a closet, but okay. I wish this car would get off of me. Audie, on my nerves. I'm late for work, girl, but I'm gonna come back and finish this because it's good. Anyway, I'll be right back. Hold on. They done rolled up this body, whatever. What got on my nerves, aside from them just throwing him behind the coffee table, was that Andrew then went and got some Bounty paper towels and tried to wipe up this blood. But like, girl, it's a concrete floor. It just soaked up knees. It's just not realistic. Now, what also isn't realistic is well, I'll get there in a minute. So anyway, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. This is very weird, all these children out here. But whatever, I know they just out here to get out of school. These kids have signed up to volunteer for the Make-A-Wish Foundation so they don't have to be in school. I understand. I was one of those children. Where am I? So, the dog. David convinced Andrew. I got to take the dog out here for his walk, child. He gonna be in here barking and crying. It ain't gonna be good. They gonna know something up. And so, girl, you on my nerves. GMC Yukon in front of me. Girl, get in here so I can get in here. The hell? Sorry, I'm at the bank. Oh, and it's long. It's a long line, Jesus. Okay, well, nothing I can do. Anyway, where am I? So yeah, they go out walk the dog. David wants to come and walk. David wants to walk the dog by himself. Andrew wants to go with him, obviously. And, because David was going to try to make his escape. But Andrew was like, girl, do you not want me to go? And David is like, well, I just thought you was tired. Andrew's talking about, do I look like I'm tired? Well, no, you look like you're crazy. That's what you look like. But all right. So, well, since I'm sitting still, let me catch me a cross breeze, honey. It is hot today. They go out here, they walk this dog, and, they get to the elevator first. And the woman gets on the elevator and she's like, hey, David, how you doing? How's it going? David does not look friendly. He looks like he needs assistance and help. If I was Karen, I would have called the police. I would have called. But that's just me. But she speaks to Andrew. Andrew don't speak. He just looking. And I'm like, rude. So rude. Anyway, girl, they get outside. They walking the dog and carrying on. And David sees some folks that he know. Well, before he even sees them, he sees some folks that I guess he knew. And he's like, let's go back. Let's turn around. But before that, he's telling Andrew, well, I could just, I could say I was out all night and I'm just getting home and just finding what happened. And you'll be long gone. That way I won't go to jail and you won't go to jail, kind of thing. And he like, gone? Without you? That's just not realistic. We in this thing together. And so, he holding on to David. So they get back upstairs and David's coworker swings by because, girl, why you ain't at work? So, and I guess he must have been a really nice and really reliable man, because if I don't show up at work, they gonna call me once or twice and say, and I'm really nice and really reliable at work, but they gonna call me and be like, she ain't answer, hope everything all right, and that's just gonna be that, and then they gonna be pissed that I didn't show up. If dead or not, honey, they gonna be mad. Like, the nerve of her to not show up and then find out I'm dead and be like, oh no, that's why. So, but his coworker come on over. They knocking on the door. David and Andrew are in there, and what's strange, I don't know how they got out. Like, did they get out is there a back door, or when they went to get the key, did they slip out? It didn't make sense. But when they opened the door, the dog comes running out. I'm like, didn't nobody catch the dog? The dog just ran out and was just gone for the rest of the show. He was just gone. Where'd he go? Where's Prince? Get him. But then they see the trail of blood, and then they see the trail lead directly to behind the coffee table. And they like, oh no, David is dead. So, call the police. Police come in. They thinking David's dead at first. And then the coworker is like, she asked to speak to one of the detectives. And first of all, the detectives were like, terrible at their jobs. But she has to speak to the detective, and they're like, she's like, well, he was, there was a guy staying here. His name was Andrew Hakuna Matata. And he's, taller than Jeff, black hair, this, that, and the other. And so they look back at the man. Well, she said, he asked what color was David's hair. And she says blonde. Now, first of all, we're not going to try to pretend like this hair was blonde. They try to say that this boy had blonde hair his whole life. The child had blonde hair. The child actor had blonde hair. Because we saw David and his dad, when he was a child, shooting ducks. He didn't want to shoot the duck. Like, he just wasn't feeling it. And his dad was like, okay, we ain't got to shoot ducks. We can do something else. That child had blonde hair. Adult David had a blonde bang, and that's it. I'm not going to sit here and let y'all try to convince me that this man had blonde hair when only the front patch of his hair. Just stop that. Stop lying to me. Anyway, so they say his hair was blonde, and they look back at the body, and 3 people had to determine that this man rolled up like a dead fruit roll up. Oh, that's disrespect. Let me not do that. This man rolled up in, I was going to say pigs in a blanket. Let me get myself together. The man rolled up in the carpet rug. Took 3 people to determine his hair was not blonde. I said, now, I understand that it's a bloody mess, but you just can see the difference between blonde and black hair. Anyway, child, so now they're saying, well, this ain't David, this is Andrew. David killed Andrew. And I'm just like, girl, I don't have time for it. I don't have time for your speculations. And in the meantime, we see David and Andrew get in. I don't know whose car it was. Was that originally Andrew's car, originally David's car? They get in the car. David is like, shook up and scared. Andrew was like, all right, let's go, road trip, hey. And I'm like, girl, settle down. You're a murderer on the run. Calm down. Now, again, this is speculation. We're not sure how this man was, like, on the road and all of that. But, so, the police talking about how the buzzer don't work. I'm not understanding the correlation. It was on my nerves. And that's then when we see that, David didn't want to shoot ducks. We see that flashback. And now Andrew is talking about a new life in Mexico. We're going to Mexico. And I'm like, from what were they, Wisconsin? That's a large leap. You should have killed somebody in Texas. Good Lord. I can't do long. Like, I can do long car rides, but if I'm nervous and scared, I'm not going to want to sit in the car that long to get to Mexico. But whatever, girl. So, the coroner, or the body man, the body man comes in, and he doesn't want to unroll the rug because he might lose some good evidence. So they take the rug and the man back to, his office, his workspace. And in Jeff's back pocket, obviously, is his wallet with his identification. So they're like, okay, so it's not David, it's not Andrew, this is Jeff Trail. So now we're saying that David and Andrew have killed Jeff. Now, again, we don't know that to be false. We don't know that to be true. Like, this is all, we don't know what's going on. We know that Andrew killed Jeff and Andrew killed David, but we don't know exactly if David was with it at first and then he started to back out and Andrew had to kill. We don't know none of that. But from the way they described his father and his relationship, we assume that he wasn't a part of the killings. So anyway, David is sitting in the car reflecting, in the words of Dorinda Clark Cole, as I look back over my life and I think all the things God's done for me. Listen, I am still here. Dorinda Clark Cole, The Rose album. The Rose. Girl, get your heavenly life. Get your heavenly life. She said, whew, I could have been dead and gone. Glory. Moving on. So he reflecting and thinking, and I've always been trying to be, and all my life I had to fight, and things was hard for me, and all of the things that I guess you think about right as you're about to die. I've been about to die a couple of times, and I just be like, girl, I am so aggravated. So aggravated. Not interested in being dead per se, but I guess if I'm gonna die, cool, whatever, but aggravated about it. Like, that's how I feel. Anyway, So then we pull over. We at a club. A woman, I can't think of her name, but she's the original artist of the song, and I can't think of the song either, but my mama was getting her life. She was like, oh yeah, this was the jam back in the day. I've heard the song, but I can't remember right now. But it gave me my life. She was singing Down Boots. But she's singing. David gets up, he going to the bathroom. Andrew lets him go by himself, and she's singing. He's sitting there at the table, he crying, and looking like he has given in to the notion that David is about to run. David gets to the bathroom, he wraps his sweater around, his fist and busts the window out. Now, first of all, the way he wrapped that sweater around that fist, and as soft as he hit that window, it shouldn't have come out at all. But okay, TV. We got to get the point across. Because, listen, the material was too bulky. It wasn't going to bust the window. It wasn't. Anyway, girl. So he busts the window. And then he stands there and looks out the window. And you have homegirl singing down. And you have Andrew in there crying. And he looking out the window. And I'm like, get out. Go. In the words of Karen Clark Sheard and Kiara Sheard. It's a clock day. When God says go. Go, nigga, what you? Jump. Chris Cross will make you jump, like get out. Mac Daddy will make you jump. Daddy Mac will make you jump. Get out the window is the point here. This young man decides to shake the glass out of his jacket, put it back around his waist, and come on back out and hold hands with Andrew. At that point, I turned him over to a reprobate mind. Because you could have had ran. You could have had done ran. I got to chop up my grandma for this. Then we see another flashback. He has gotten a degree. And he's showing his daddy the degree. And his daddy's like, oh, wonderful. So happy for you to have gotten your degree. And he's like, Daddy, I'm gay. And his daddy's like, well, give me just a second now. Hold on. So I won't say the wrong thing. And it was literally like a second. He's like, well, I don't agree, but listen, love you more than anything else. And that's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. Oh, hello, I'm good. How are you? I don't know her. So, you see his dad being very accepting and very like, girl, I don't agree. I believe in Jesus Christ and, all of his teachings and carryings on, which I'm not even going to do it right now. I'm not even going to do it. But he goes on to say, you still my son. Like, you my nigga for life, dog. Like, gay or whatever. You still my dude. And that was really sweet. It blessed me. And then we see, like, let me just skip on to the end, girl. So David done took a nap in the car. He wakes up. He ain't got on no shoes, but he gets out the car. Andrew ain't in the car. He gets out the car. He running. I don't know if he was looking for Andrew or looking to get away from it. I don't know what he was looking for, but he was running and looking around. I would have been running along the street hoping a car came by, but that's just me. And then Andrew pops out from behind a tree and is like, David, hey, you don't have on any shoes. What's going on? And I'm like, you are insane. Absolutely out of his mind. But then, all in all, girl, he gets him back in the car. They go to a cafe. I guess he done put on his shoes, because most cafes have a no shoes, no shirt, no service rule. So I guess he found his shoes, put them back on. And they at the cafe, and David is really... This is what made me mad about David. This is why at the beginning of the review I said I'm going to cuss out David, because this really upset my spirit. David is sitting here talking about when, remember when we first met, this and the other, and these things happened, and these things happened, and this happened. And you asked to switch rooms, and you sent me a drink, and you were so fancy, and these things and that. And then he flipped it and was giving, you didn't lose control. You planned to kill Jeff because Jeff saw the real you, because you trash and doo-doo-doo and blah, blah, blah. And, that's why you killed him. And now I see the real you. And I'm like, well, David, let's go back and look at your logic here. Let's look at it. You are claiming that Andrew killed Jeff because Jeff saw the real Andrew. Then you claim that you now see the real Andrew. And for some reason, you expect that Andrew won't kill you now? That don't make sense. Now, again, this whole episode basically was speculation. We don't know what really happened, what really went on, but that was stupid. That was real, real stupid. It was stupid that the boy didn't jump out the window. It was stupid that he sat here talking about, well, you killed Jeff because he saw the real you, and now I see the real you. Girl, you just signed your death certificate. So Andrew then tries to, change the subject, and, it was on my nerves. Moving along, we in the car. David is once again retrospecting on his life, and Then he grabs the wheel, honey, and he's like, girl, stop the car. But you don't stop the car by grabbing the wheel, David. You stop the car with your feet. Your hands control which direction the car, but that's, whatever. So he's swinging the wheel, stop the car. Now Andrew got to pull over. And he's like, you just could not let well enough alone. You couldn't let it be. And so now David wants to beg for his life. Oh, no, I see it now. I see it. We are in Mexico and we going to get a job and you going to speak Spanish fluently. You going to pick it up real good because you're smart and I'm going to struggle, but you'll help me. And I can see it. I can see it clear as day. And I'm like, what's the point? What's the point of you begging for your life now when you signed your death certificate at the cafe? You told this man he killed Jeffrey because Jeffrey saw the real him, and you also now see the real him. Is that not signing your death certificate? All of that grabbing the wheel, trying to get him to pull over. He pulled the gun, had it to his chest, and now David want to be scared? Okay. Shouldn't have been sleeping with the man's best friend. To be honest, let's go on all the way back. Shouldn't have been doing that. David, like they tried to give me the illusion that David was good as far as this show.
One of the deposits looks like they just took this nickel for a penny, but still dark. Oh, you can change or you want to take it? That would be that 4 cents, right?
I'll just take the 4 cents.
Okay.
Where was I, girl? Yeah, so all of that, girl, and it's just they're trying to give me the illusion that David was like good, which I mean, I think in all encompassing, he was a good dude, but he had some shiesty stuff he had going on too, according to the show. Again, we don't know for sure. So then we out here at the water, and I'm like, Lord, we at the water. I know he got shot by the water, so that's not great. And I wonder how they found his body out by the water. Like, I guess cadaver dogs are carrying on, but maybe they'll discuss that next week. But he is like, you trying to save yourself now. All of this, you can see it clear as day. It's not going to work. It's not real. It could have been real, but it's not real. You've convinced me. Because he spent all this time convincing this boy that it ain't real. Then want to turn around and say, oh, no, it's real. So he's like, it's not real. It could have been real, but it's just simply not. And then you see David, he gets up and he's, moving slowly. And this is when Andrew's saying, well, it's not real. And while Andrew was, quote unquote, distracted, girl, David turns around, starts running. And we see David running, we see Andrew shooting, and then we see David bust into this little, first of all, it looked like an RV, but then when he got in there, it was a cabin, and I was like, wait a minute. And then we see his dad, and I'm like, oh, well, he did. You see him with his father. And then I'm like, well, his daddy ain't dead. And then it made me start, like, reflecting on, like, as I'm dying or as I'm about to die, who I'm going to see? Am I going to see folks that are living, or am I going to see folks that are dead? Because he saw his daddy, and his daddy was living. And I'm like, I'm going to have tea with my children that are alive, or am I going to have tea with my grandparents that have gone on? Like, who am I going to have tea with? But they sit there and they have a cup, and it was very nice. It was very calming and peaceful, but also very off-putting and disturbing. And then they switch it up, and we see the actual scene. David does not make it to the cabin or the little joint. And I'm like, was it even really there? Was it even there? He gets shot in the back, and I guess the gunshot like punctured his aorta, maybe his heart. Thank you. It punctured something because he was down. Maybe a lung because he was struggling to breathe. Either way, child, it was punctured and he was having a difficult time. But he mustered up all of his last little bit of strength, turned over on his back. Now I would have stayed on my stomach, but that's how I sleep. I'm a stomach sleeper. I'm probably gonna die on my stomach too. But that's me. But he turns over and puts his hands up over his face. Here come Andrew with the gun looking down at him. He got his hands all up. Andrew shoots through the man's hands and through his eye. And then lays down and snuggles up with the body. And I'm like, do we know he did that for real, first of all? And if he did, girl, the hell, like all the different inflections. What in the world? You done shot this man, now you're snuggling up to him. It was on my nerves. It was truly on my nerves. But that was the episode. Honestly, this show really should not have been called The Assassination of Gianni Versace. It should have been called, Here Go Andrew, killing up all these niggas, come see why. Like, that's what it should have been called. Because honestly, we ain't seen Versace in 2 episodes. He been dead. Now we're going back in retrospect. It should have just been called, Here Go Andrew, shooting up everybody. Enjoy. Well, anyway, girl, that was the show. This was the longest review I've ever done for this show, I think. But it was a lot of little details and a lot of little stuff getting on my nerves, so I had to talk about it. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. If you still here, comment still here. So I know that y'all stayed through this whole video. I doubt most of y'all did. But anyway, girl, like, comment, subscribe, all the things the YouTubers say. Share this video. Share these. Tell the girls I'm here. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.